What's up, guys? It's Kaiser Pineapple. Hey, how y'all doing today? And well, here we are. Another stream, another day, another just hang out and whatever. But, I mean another day to go ahead and get I really don't have a plan for today. I'll be honest with you. We've finished the Titan. Hey, Vicky T, what's going on there? How you doing? So yeah, the Warforged Titan's finished, and I'm kind of working on this guy, but I really don't have a plan. So it's a bit of an odd switch up for me, and what I usually do on here. So I guess we're gonna try and do a little something or whatever here. But in the immortal words of good old Don Beveridge,
tell the crew to push the Whopper button.
Because, why the hell not? All right. So I guess we'll just kind of get into it. I mean, there's not really a whole lot that I was working with. Oh, thank you. I'm just slowly discovering some of the fun little features of StreamYard, kind of starting to get my feet wet, as it were, into some of the settings. So I'm learning things as I go. Yeah. I don't know what happened, but seems like over the last however many years I've had, a presence on YouTube, like before I started my channel even, I started collecting just tons of videos in my favorites. That's not anything outside of the normal, but I started going through them the other day, and I started noticing that like most of these are like 4 to 6, 8, 10 seconds long, and they're just like little clips of stupid little funny things. I'm like, I want to incorporate this somehow. As soon as I figure out how to actually get a little bit of being able to share audio and video on my stream. Probably going to lay off the liquor tonight, just for the simple fact that my throat and my tonsils have really been bothering me the last couple of days. It seems like every time I have had a little bit of a little bit of the old reserve, it seems like my throat just gets a little bit more painful as the night goes on. So I'm just rocking some water, and I got a Diet Coke on hand for later. So whatever. So, all right. I guess we'll go ahead and flip the camera down, or give it a minute here, because I did do a little. I guys, I have a confession to make, and I do apologize for this wholeheartedly. I do. I cheated. I went and painted a little more on this guy off stream. I know. Shameful. I'm sorry. But let me show you what I did. Let's see. Be careful, there's some nasty flu going on. I'm quite familiar with that, Vicky. So before, funny story about that. So this is probably the first time in about almost 3 months that I have not been sick. Sounds crazy, but yeah, I started a YouTube channel in that time. Why I did that, I don't know. But suffice to say, about the very tail end of September, I got sick with what I still say was the worst stomach bug I have ever had in my life. I've had stomach bugs. I've had some bad ones. But I have never had one that literally put me on the floor begging my wife to call a doctor. that happened. Thankfully, it went away like a little bit later, and it was fine. But that was crazy. That lasted like 2 days, I think. And I just like, oh, okay, I'm over it. All right, whatever. This is like tail end of September, and then like almost immediately, like the seasons start to change, and I get a sinus infection because of all the fun little stuff in the freaking atmosphere, all that lovely pollen and stuff that lasts as good old Mother Nature's just like, yeah, I'm shutting down shop for the for the year. So yeah, the trees all have that last little before they all, the leaves fall off and everything. Well, that gets over with, and the sinus infection moves into my chest. Upper respiratory infection. Oh, God. And the upper respiratory infection with me lasts for freaking ever. It's ridiculous. So it's probably mid-October by this point. I finally get the upper respiratory infection out of my system. I'm still dragging a little bit. And then like one day I'm like, yeah, my wife doesn't get sick hardly ever. And all of a sudden one day she's like, yeah, I don't feel so good. I'm gonna go get checked out. I'm like, okay, that's serious. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I'm at work and I'm starting like to kind of feel achy and draggy and just feel like really crap. And then I'm like, yeah, I feel sick. What the hell's this? And about that time my phone rings. My wife texts me. She goes, yep, I just got out of the doctor's office. I have flu type B. I'm like, God damn it. Yeah. Oh, the thing is, it's not over. It gets worse. That's the craziest part. This gets worse. So I go to I happen to work next door to a med check. Thank God. And so I just, tell my boss, hey, I don't feel so good. I'm going to the med check. I'm like, all right, cool. So I walk on over and they hook me up and they do all the tests and stuff and everything. They're like, you say your wife tested positive for flu B. We don't have anything showing up on our end, like on our tests, but that could just be because you're so early in the stages that it's not showing up yet. So they gave me Tamiflu. They gave me a whole regimen of stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, for the love of God, just get it over with. Thankfully, I didn't get like the full-blown flu experience, thank God. And got all that done and out of my system. And I was like, okay, it's starting to get early November now. It's early November now. I'm like, okay, I'm over this crap. Let's actually stay healthy for a while. Nope. Yep. Wife calls one day, a couple of days later, and she's like, "Yeah, we're at this point, out of the flu and everything." And she's like, "Yeah, I feel sick again." I'm like, okay, what's going on? Because you never get sick, and now you've been sick twice in like the last month. What the hell? She's like, "Yeah, pick up some COVID tests on your way home." And I'm like, "Oh." Word I can't say on YouTube. So go to the store, pick up some COVID tests, and I get home, and immediately she goes in, swab and everything test, and then bam, positive. I'm like, just like, frick my life. So after 3 years almost of not getting COVID, like we did not get COVID at all during the entire pandemic. Suddenly, here we are, and then suddenly, boom, get the Rona. God damn it. So She tests positive. I test negative. I'm like, all right, what the hell? I'll just still go to work and everything and then be okay. I'll just keep an eye on it. Well, go to work the next day and I'm like, I feel kind of but not like bad or anything. So I'm sitting up here in my office at night, one night, like after, just kind of hanging out for a bit. And then all of a sudden I get the chills. Y'all, I have not had chills associated with an illness since like one time I got flu when I was like 17 and I'm 36. So it's been a while. And the chills last for about 5 minutes. They're off and out of my system, but I'm like, okay, maybe I should go do the old Q-tip up the nose again and get a check on that. Well, I did, and bada bing, bada boom, bingo, bango, frickin' hell, I got COVID now. I'm like, son of a bitch. So, then proceeds to have the next 2, 3, almost actually about 4 weeks, a week and a half, 2 weeks for the illness itself. And the strangest thing for me was that the COVID amounted to a slight cough and a slight nasal drip. I'm like, man, this sucks, but ain't that bad. No way, that's crazy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's freaking crazy. I swear that the side effects that I dealt with after this were worse than the entirety of while I was sick with the what. Not trying to, YouTube. I'm not trying to say anything here. I'm just literally recounting my story of what happened to me. So, don't ban me, bro. I know people have died from it, and then others that have had no symptoms at all. That stuff is insane. Yeah. So without getting too into the weeds, my current job I would not have if not for it, because somebody in the office previous to me kind of left an empty seat, and that's why I got hired. And it sucks, and I feel terrible for those folks, but for them and their family. But I mean, still, it's like, but anyway, I digress. Yeah, it was weird. Like I had a slight nasal drip. I had just a very slight cough. Didn't feel that bad. And, I went to the doctor's office. They gave me a 5-day treatment course of something called Paxlovid. Y'all, I swear to you, in my personal opinion, what happened to me, the side effects of the damn treatment that they gave me was worse than I was already dealing with, because there's a 16% subset of the population. I had to do some research on this. I figured it out. I found this out. There's a whole article on it. There's a 16% subset of the population that on this particular course of drug, it causes some kind of reaction in your salivary glands, so that your spit tastes bitter. And I'm not just talking like, ew, a little bitter. I'm talking about the worst, vile, nasty, disgusting, bitter, just all the time. 24 hours a day for 5 freaking days. I'm telling you, that bitterness was... I gotta watch what I say again, because I almost could have got my channel yeeted for what was my personal experience. But it felt to me like it was worse than the So it's like, what the heck? Yeah, as far as like smell and taste getting changed up or anything like that, I only had like one very minor episode where we made just like we were hungry and I was not cooking that night. I usually do the cooking around the house, and I was like, what the heck? Throw in a frozen pizza. And aside from the fact that I couldn't taste most of the frozen pizza, the only thing I could taste was the pepperoni. And I don't understand why, but the pepperoni tasted like Robitussin. What the F? This freaking virus just like made pepperoni taste like Robitussin. It was like the weirdest, most effed up thing ever. Ugh. But anyway, got it. Yeah, freaking gross as hell. But yeah, got all the stuff out of my system and got to a point where, I was better. Literally went down and did a quick, test literally the morning of Thanksgiving. Oh no, you're good. You're good. I would much rather talk to folks and just recount goofy stories and stuff than anything else. But I like to actually interact with chat. I love to do that. So no apologies. No apologies. No apologies. But anyway, so yeah, I get this. I finally get this all out of my system. I literally take a test Thanksgiving morning. I've got it out of my system. Thank God I can go to Thanksgiving. I can be with family. I just still am feeling like complete all the time, though. And it's really only been within about the last week that my voice has really started to come back. If you go back the last couple of streams I've done the last week or two since I came back, I still sound like I smoke 4 packs of Marlboros a day. Yeah, I gotta switch over to menthol, boy. But again, I'm fine. I'm still a little rough, but otherwise I sound mostly normal now. And, just might have to excuse me a little bit more. But yeah, finally, I've got it out of my system. Knock on all the wood. That came out wrong. Anyway. Yeah, nothing worse than being sick for the holidays. Yep, I've been there. I've done that. I've actually had, years and years ago, I came down with like the flu or something literally on Christmas Eve. It was the worst. How's the wife doing? She's fine. Actually, I think she's pretty much like back at 100%. I'm just taking a little bit longer because my stubborn vocal cords, which, being what they are and all of my other issues and complications, take a little while longer to heal than most. So, it's no big deal. So, all right. Well, all right. That was that story ended up being a lot longer than I anticipated. Again, I'm totally cool with it because I actually have fun going off on those little tangents there. And if I have to kind of do like this or something like that, it's because my microphone sound ring actually kind of interferes sometimes with my, being able to see the monitor over there. Yeah, Legal Vice is actually in the, was, bragging on his brand new 50-inch monitor. I'm like, bro, what do you think I'm watching you on? Of course, I play a lot of flight sims and stuff like that. So, yeah, my computer setup is a little over the top. Big microphone. Actually, it's just closer to the camera, but I mean, it's just a Yeti Blue, same one that Farron uses. And yeah, my computer setup, like I said, is a little bit over the top. Yeah. So there's those monitors there. All connected up to my desktop, and the TV right here in front of my desk that actually I'm using as a monitor right now, so I can do this. So I'm extra. What can I say? Anywho, looks like my kid's room, who was a big gamer. Yeah, well, this is kind of. I used to work from home a lot, so the two monitors on the top were actually my well, they still are for my work computer. So I have a second computer that I use for work only, and then I've got my main desktop, which is the three below, and this monitor here. So it's one of the I keep everything hooked up just in case. But yeah, this is kind of just my hobby office, all that kind of stuff. I made all these shelves here. I got a couple more shelves actually just right above here that are just like those back there. I made all those, and some other, bits and bobs and whatever. Anyway, so here's the finished product that on the Titan that we were working on previously. I'm going to kind of angle him down just a smidge, pull this back. So what did I do while y'all were gone? Well, I added some markings to him. So you notice there's a 17 up here on his on the top of his little shield there. I also put a similar mark on the side of his little flange there. Another, yep, it's on very faded on the side of this leg. Let me see. Those are awesome shells. Believe it or not, they are super simple to make, and I can actually tell you, go to Menards. They have it's plywood, but it's actually furniture grade plywood. It's got like the nice veneer on it. I actually chose birch. Believe it or not, my desk is actually made out of the same, because I built my desk too. I could not find a desk that I liked for my office that was big enough for my needs. So I had to custom build my own desk. And yes, I do a lot of woodworking, as you can probably tell. So yeah, my desk is made out of the same material as my shelves, same stains, same everything. I used just black iron pipe fittings that you can get at like Menards or whatever. Drill them straight to the studs. Those things will hold up. I'm a heavy guy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little on the heavy side. I could dead hang from those. I could just dead hang from those shelves, and they won't break. I made them with load bearing in mind. And likewise, my desk. I actually, like I said, I made it extra wide, so I could not find a single desk that was more than maybe 20, 24 inches in width. And I really kind of was like, yeah, that's not enough space for me. So the width of my desk is actually 30 inches. So from where I'm sitting to where the TV is up against the wall, yeah, there's about a 30-inch difference. So just about 6 inches shy of 3 feet. And then it's actually an L desk. So each L section of the L is full 6 feet wide. And so, yeah, I've got this nice wraparound desk. It's like super deep. It's up against the wall in the corner. And I can run all my lights and everything like that the way I like it. So it was one of those when I started like kind of trying to put my office together. I'm like, yeah, none of the furniture options and whatnot that I found really appeal to me, and they're all like way too damn expensive. It's like, y'all are way too proud of your product that ain't worth nothing. So I just said, you know what, I'm gonna just take what I would normally invest in, buying a desk, and just buy materials. And this has held up admirably well for over the last probably 3-4 years now ish. So Yeah. Anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch. So yeah, went ahead and painted the little bits on the spine here, as I had kind of hinted and talked about possibly doing before. See if I can get the light to focus. Focus, Daniel. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, colored those in, and then brought this back around, added the unit markings. Went back and did some airbrush work. Kind of added a little bit of orange, kind of getting like a little bit more of surface rust look. You might be able to see it a little bit better on this top of the axe head. Nope, maybe not. You can definitely see it better on the hammer. Come on. Yeah. Come on, dadgummit. There we go. Now it's too bright. Let me try this angle. See if that works a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. That's much better. So just some like surface rust and that kind of thing, just to kind of make it, look a little bit more old and battle worn, which is what I was going for anyway. There, got that nice surface rust look to it. Dirtied them up a little bit, got a little more soot. Added some rust coloration back here, some patina. Made some little markings on him around, so you can see that 17 on the mandible a little bit better. Better up on top. Tried to make it look kind of like more World War I era, kind of like the more German style, like old script that they used to use, like way back pre-World War I in the Kaiser era. If you catch the joke, yeah, you can see the little bit of the fading, the faded mark on the 17 on the leg. So there's a mark up here on top. There's one on his on the left side of his face. There's one here on his right leg, just kind of as a little bit of something just to kind of balance it out and keep it so that way you can look at it. And I went back and did the tips of the spikes with a little bit of that rust as well. There you can see the axe head. Those little gouges and marks in the axe head, I actually cut those in myself in the early stages. I did a little bit of weathering, kind of make it look like it's been beaten all up and everything. Yeah, see if I can turn this around close. Yep. Yeah, there we go. You can see a little more of the other side. So, yeah, this has been a fun project. This has actually probably been one of the most challenging minis that I've ever painted, just because I really wanted to go all out with this one and just really kind of do something fun. But this is a mini I've had my eye on for a long time, and I'm super glad that not only did I get to build it and actually show it off to you guys as we were building it, and actually you guys were hanging around with me during the whole process, but on Saturday, I get to actually use it because I run a D&D campaign on Saturday, once a month on one Saturday a month with some old guys from high school. And I've been running this game for about 2 years now. But yeah, we're going to get to employ this guy, the Warforged Titan. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Very tedious work. Yes, tedious, but rewarding. It's rewarding because it's fun. And I see we currently have 3 viewers hanging out right now. Hey, guys, I say for those of you who may not have ever stopped in before or anything like that, I'm Kaiser Pineapple. Feel free to go down and hit that like button. And if you like what I'm doing, why don't you hit that subscribe? I have new content uploading on every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm pretty much like clockwork. We usually kind of have a little laid back, just chat and chill, like leading up to stuff. And then we're going to get right into the painting here momentarily. So as I mentioned, yeah, go on down there, hit that like, sub to the channel. Always love to have new people. And, if you feel so inclined, drop something in the chat, questions, comments, whatever. I want to actually engage with chat and have a good time. So that's my thing. All righty. Cool. All right, let's go. I don't know why I just suddenly switched into Australian, but yeah, any Aussie Overlord fans are more than welcome on my channel. I say Hayden is a bro. Love that guy. All right. So we started working on this guy back on Saturday. You can go catch my previous stream of that. We did a little bit more work on him on Tuesday. Yeah, it kind of just got a little bit going there. As you can probably tell, there's a little something that's kind of missing here. It's like, wait a minute, buddy, your staff there's a little bit short because, Kaiser had a little bit of an oopsie and broke it. But if you've ever seen any of my other previous streams, you also know that I can reattach things like this very well, and you will never even know that it actually happened, except for the fact that you now know because I told you. So promptly forget that I actually did that. And yeah, I've done this before. I mean, I've had things break, and sometimes that just happens over the course of whatever you're doing. But yeah, I've got some fun little tools and stuff like that we can use to fix that up and pretty it and make it look all nice. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. And so kind of where I wanted to work today is let's kind of get in here and do a little bit with the detail, because we're starting to get into the point where we've got all the major components are all colored in. So now it's just time to start on the actual process of painting and getting some of the detail set up in there. So let's do this. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and break out what is probably quickly becoming a staple on my channel. I say grab the pink brushes and the one blue brush. So, and I do get questions on this, and it's kind of funny because people are like, where do you, it's like, you know, where, it's like, why do you use these pink like brushes? Well, these have the thinnest and smallest brush tips I think I've ever seen. They're incredibly tiny. They're almost like needle size. I mean, they're super thin. Basically, they are for nail art, like fingernail art. And obviously, since I don't do that for reasons, they make fantastic work of model painting whenever you're doing details. And they were cheap on Amazon. Yeah, super tiny. I forget what the official size on these is. Here's the brand mark if it so inclines anybody to know. Winstonia. Oopsie. Very wide. Yeah, if anybody's interested in these. They're super, super tiny, and I love using these for detail work on my models and stuff. So, all right. So where we left off previously, I was going to start doing some of the detail here, especially on the back of his stole. These have like nice raised markings. So I was going to do these up in kind of a nice gold color. I got this old gold. It's just plain old Vallejo model color. Use a little bit of that. I might pull out some of the deco art. This is a really nice gold color that it has a very bright, almost kind of a warm gold to it. I have to be kind of careful with this because it is a thicker type of acrylic paint, and sometimes it doesn't what do you call it? The metallic doesn't quite always mix very well, so I got to be very careful in how I use it. But the results actually are very nice when they come out. So actually, you know what? We're going to go ahead and give a little drip of that. And And we'll go ahead and use some of this. What the hey? So it's actually not too thick compared to other acrylics that I've used. That I mean, these are like $1.25 acrylic bottles that came from Hobby Lobby. These are huge. This bottle cost me like $1.25 at Hobby Lobby. This bottle, on the other hand, at my local hobby store, cost me almost $7. You know, you do the math. I'm gonna say you can get just as good acrylics from pretty much your average like Hobby Lobby or whatnot that you can from like your local hobby store. I mean, they do have sell them in like different ways, and you have to know how to mix and thin and properly do stuff, but to kind of make it work. But it's actually not that hard to do. It just requires a little bit of a learning curve. So we're just going over these little lines and details and just trying to make sure we paint inside the lines, so to speak. Specialty item. Yep, that about does it. Yep. Don't get me wrong. I do love Vallejo and their catalog of colors. They have some really good stuff. Because it is a bit more niche, though, yeah, I do understand that they have a little bit more of a markup compared to just the plain old acrylics that you can get at, Hobby Lobby and whatnot. Like I said, the Hobby Lobby big box store acrylics are often a little bit thicker and heavier, but if you know how to thin them and you know how to use them, they actually will do just as good of a job. I've actually got several models on my shelf up above here that I did with those types of acrylics. You have a lot of patience to paint items that small. Well, all I can say is years of practice. And by that, I mainly just mean lots of trial and error and, rage quitting sometimes. There's a picture that I would love that I need to find. It's somewhere in my computer archive that I've got. It would take me too long to find the daggone thing, unfortunately, but I'll try and remember to find that one of these days. But so I was doing some other of these like minis, not this particular brand or anything like that. They're a little bit different style. And so it was a wizard in this miniature, and I painted him all up and I did everything to him, and I took a picture of this miniature and all the detail work that I'd done in it. I mean, it looked fantastic. I mean, it looked like something like right out of a fantasy novel. And my buddy was like, "Hey man, that looks amazing. But could you do anything to kind of like, I mean, did you use like a different scale or something? Because I mean, it looks like it's big or bigger than what we normally use on the table." And I sent him a second picture, which is the one in question, of literally that same miniature standing next to a thumbtack, just a standard thumbtack. And it was actually just about the same height as the thumbtack. And he was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" Yep. And as you can see there, I got just a little tiny fleck of paint outside of where it's supposed to go. And you know what? That's okay, because it's actually not that hard to fix. That's one of the things you see that little tiny little dot that got out of whack there. It's actually not hard to fix, because I've actually got more of, the same red color, just good old Vallejo burnt red. I can just add a little dot of that, cover it over, no big deal. Since I'm working on this right now, if I have a little mistake, it's no big deal, because I can go back and cover it up. And, in this particular, what in this particular, if you want to call it anything, hobby, trade, whatever, just like that, things happen. And you know what? You just got to roll with it. Sometimes things are going to happen, and it's okay. You just, have a plan, as it come up with a plan to fix it and move on. Yeah, these are really difficult to get in between. So yeah, there's some little hiccups there. Yeah, I boogered that up a little bit there. You can see where I kind of got it, here in where the red's supposed to be, maybe. Okay, come on, work it. Work, dadgun it. There we go. Yeah, I kind of got a little sloppy with the paint right there, in between the bolt and that little swish there. Again, nothing I can't fix. As Bob Ross was used to say, there are no mistakes, only happy accidents. What really makes these little things so easy is because they're so raised up over the stole itself, which makes my job in the end a lot easier because I don't have to worry so much about trying to stay within lines, as I can just kind of hit the top of it. So, and you can also notice the way I'm holding the brush and everything. I've got like the finger over here for support. I've got my other finger under here for support, trying to keep that brush tip steady. Because, funny enough, my hands shake. It doesn't look like it, but yeah, my hands really do shake, actually. And so you kind of come up with ways to counter that, and you work around it. Sometimes you just get a little, sometimes, things happen, or you get a little bit of, what do you call it? End of the day comes around, you get a little bit of that shake in the fingers. That happens sometimes, or blood sugar drops a little bit. Yeah, no biggie. You just learn how to mitigate and move on. Now, anybody who is unfamiliar with my channel will note that my mini painting style is a little different than most, because I do not like to sit there and do a lot of extra layers and a lot of, I guess you could say, I don't like to try and force color gradients on the eye and whatnot. I don't want to sit there and try and make somebody see something. I want the actual visual light, of what I'm working on to work with me. I'm not trying to do like 30 layers of different colors and stuff. Yeah, I hate the feeling when your blood sugar drops and shakes start happening. I shove food down my throat ASAP when that happens. Yeah, usually for just that type of situation or an occasion, I'd usually keep some kind of like a, just cheap hard candy or something like that on hand, so I can just get a quick little sugar boost, and then off to the races. Just keep on trucking. See, I don't have any with me right now, and actually I cooked dinner already, so I am good in that department. You say, I kind of joked with Flux the other day. I was talking to her. I said, yeah, if my plan for YouTube is like for painting minis and stuff like that on YouTube ever doesn't work out or goes down the tubes, I say I've got a backup plan, and it's just doing all my cooking and smoking and stuff like that. Like like food smoking, that kind of thing. Matter of fact, I might be doing some of that here over the what you call that, holiday break, Christmas break to most folks, but everyone else celebrate whatever. There we go. Try and get some nice little gold trim around these shoulder pads. There we go. Yep, I got a little bit off the side there. Yeah, no biggie. I can fix that. Oh, you're making me hungry yet. Day when you two are discussing the exact topic. Yeah, I got a couple of shorts that I've already put out there on my channel. I did one where I I literally was just kind of as a joke. I made a short that was just 13 seconds of bacon frying in my cast iron pan. And that did over 1,100 views in a day. And I'm like, wait, I do this stuff. And y'all were entertained by 13 seconds of bacon frying? What the heck? YouTube is a weird place. And then I did another one a couple of days later where I was just kind of a quick little short on making my little 5-ingredient enchiladas that I make. Well, just something a little fun and yummy to eat. Yes, bacon is awesome. I especially actually just over the weekend because of like I said, I do all the cooking in my house because I just enjoy doing it. And so I got up early on Saturday with my son, and we're just kind of hanging out and whatnot. And said, you know what, buddy, let's go ahead and let's make some breakfast. So just got the skillets out, got the cast iron, and started getting some things cooked up. I ended up making like a full giant, like 24-ounce slab of bacon, and then I had another big old slab of bacon like in there, like just ready to go that I was waiting to use. And I went ahead and used it the next day because I decided to go ahead and make potato soup. I actually make a potato soup recipe that uses, a little over a pound of bacon. So it's bacon, ham, potatoes, and then I had some. I just had some chicken that I had done fried chicken the other night. It was like the night before, and I didn't use all of it, so I had a couple of just like one or two like little chicken breasts like left over. So I was like, yeah, you know what? Throw them in there in the Instant Pot and cook those down. And then I'll throw them in and add them to the soup. And it worked. It was daggone tasty. Okay, there, get that little dot right up in there. I do love me some bacon. Arguably my favorite recipe that, it uses the same cut of meat as bacon, but isn't actually bacon, is one of my favorite recipes to smoke in my smoker. I love pork belly burnt ends. And if you've never had these, oh, dear Lord, you're missing out. So my recipe is actually pretty easy. So I just get like a standard size pork belly from Costco, usually about 10 pound or something like that. And then I'll cut that whole thing up into, because it's the same, the pork belly is literally the same cut of meat as bacon. It's just, it's not cured. It doesn't have the salt. It's just the same. It's just the meat. That's all it is. And so what I'll go ahead and do is I'll cut it into about 2 to 3 inch wide cubes. And then I'll throw those cubes on the smoker, and depending on whatever wood I'm using, usually I like to use something with some apple wood or hickory or whatnot in it, kind of get a nice fire going, usually sitting right around 225 to 250, and throw those on the smoker, smoke them for about 2.5 to 3 hours ish. And then once they're cooked, I'll actually pull them off of the smoker, throw them into a pan, and then in that pan, I'll load that up with, I'll throw the, pork belly, the smoked pork belly in there in the bottom, and then I'll cover it with brown sugar and cube cut butter. I usually like to use Kerrygold or something like that. Just cut up some butter, stick that in there. Usually about, I would say, about a full stick to stick and a half, depending on how much I'm actually making. And then drizzle the whole thing with honey. Throw the tin foil over the top of it. And yes, Kerrygold is the best. It really freaking is. But anyway, after I go ahead and get the foil back on it there, I usually let it sit and smoke for about another hour and a half, kind of give it time to cook down, get in there. And then I will pull it off and drain all the fat and trimmings and runnings and all that off of there. And then once all that is there, I will go ahead and put in my glaze. Now, my glaze usually consists of about 1 cup to a half a cup of apple juice. And then I'll also throw in, apricot jelly. Almost daggone near use a full jar of apricot jelly. You put all that in there. You mix. If you go ahead and mix up some nice, barbecue sauce. I like to make a Kansas City style barbecue sauce. Kind of get that nice little bit of sweet and a little heat added in there, along with all of that, and then get the glaze all mixed up in those pork belly bites. And the best I can describe, it's basically the way it's been told to me from somebody who tried it. They said it's literally meat candy, and I took that as about the best compliment that I could get on the stuff, because it really did taste like meat candy. Friggin' love that stuff. And I don't get to make very many pork bellies. I say my wife is not much of a fan of like smoked barbecue and stuff like that as I am, so I don't usually get to make it all that often, unless I'm making it for myself or some other get together or something like that. But when I do get the opportunity, I do enjoy it. So, and that, don't take it the wrong way. That is me not giving any kind of dig on my wife or anything like that. And say, we all have our tastes and whatnot. So there we go. Got a little bit on that scroll. Got that in there, looking nice. There's a little tiny clasp right back there. almost a tiny button. I would have missed it if I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, I got that's one of my favorite. That actually probably is my favorite to make. I can't eat spicy or hot stuff. Honestly, I shouldn't because of my my reflux, but doesn't mean it's going to stop me. Just because I shouldn't doesn't mean that I'm not going to. All right, and where is my little dot brush? I know I used it not too long ago, and I had somewhere here on my desk. It's kind of gotten buried in the avalanche of stuff. Oh, there it is. There we go. Tiny little itty bitty dot. And boop. Bam. Got that little button like right there. Focus. Had to put that nice little gold button on the pouch right over yonder way. Yep, it's that little dot there. I had to get that button. Make it pop a little bit. So, yep, we're off to a good start. We're making some good progress here. I think I'll go back and probably clean up my lines here in a minute. But I know there's a couple of things more that I've got to do before we wrap it up for the evening, because we are approaching the 1 hour mark. My God, where'd the time go? Ooh, excuse me. I am so sorry if that actually sounded. Okay, for that little section there, I go dip right there. There we go. Got the belt. Okay. And now we're going to get a little dip of red here. So the old saying goes, a little dab will do you. I mean, I don't need much more than a drop at a time to do a lot of stuff, to cover a lot of ground on these minis. So now I'm just going back here. I'm just kind of erasing some of my little oopsies from earlier. That run right down in between there. Perfect. Bada bing. I got to figure out what to do. There's a couple of little corners up here on the edges of the stole that didn't quite, I really wasn't 100% sure what they're supposed to be, so I need to kind of do a little research, figure out what that's supposed to be on the original design. There we go. Touching that up here. Get that little itty bitty spot right in here. Bam. Tiny little dot right in there. Tiny little bit there. Clean up that mark there. Get just a little bit more there. There we go. Those little mistakes are all gone. Wouldn't even know they were there unless I was calling them out. There we go. Yeah, there's definitely some spots up here on the head that I'll need to go back and get, and around the hat area. No big deal. All right, so I got those. And we still got quite a bit of this gold left, so let me go ahead and give this a mix here, because I'm going to go ahead and hit this chain here. I kind of had an idea about doing the links in some different colors and things like that, and I think that's kind of fallen through. I got some stuff in my bristles that's a little bit sticky. I'll give it just a little drop of this little solvent stuff. Helps break up any acrylic. There's one thing when you get into this hobby that you have got to learn very quickly is not just how to use a paintbrush, but how to take care of your paintbrushes. Because it requires a little bit of attention that if you rush it, or if you just forget about it and you don't do it, your brushes ain't going to last very long. And you're going to end up spending a boatload of money because brushes ain't cheap. Yeah, I still got a little bit of that dark red mixed up in those bristles. I usually don't want to do this. I'm trying to see if I could just kind of work it out a little bit. Nope. Yeah, I might need to let this one soak a little bit and do a little bit more of a little bit more work on it. I think I let something get in there. Oh well, I'll take care of that. This brush will do in the meantime. There we go. Okay. There we go. There we are. That worked in there real nice. There we are. All righty. We're at 1 hour and 5 minutes. I think we have reached a good stopping place for the evening. I say we got a lot done in a pretty short amount of time, so kind of get a little bit of a closer look here. Try to anyway. See how that works. There we go. So got some gold work on him. Colored a little bit more of his belt. Did a little bit of detail. Cleaned up some lines. All right. Got that chain. I decided to go with a gold color just to kind of tie everything together. Don't ask me for symbolism because I'm just making it up as I go. But, all right. So I think that's what we're gonna call it for tonight. We'll do some more work on it. We'll see how things go. I'm not thinking this guy's going to be ready for Saturday like I'd originally planned to. So I've got another guy in reserve that I can use in place of this, or I may even just use it unfinished at my session on Saturday. Not a big deal. Anyway, so Cool Frog. Okay, cool. Hey, welcome, Cool Frog. Let's see here. What am I even doing? Okay. Yahar. All right. I was just working on checking something. Well, I'm actually, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and call it an evening. I'm getting, getting a little bit sleepy and just going to do a little bit to unwind before I jump off for the night. All right. But for those of you out there, hey, thank you for joining me. I'm Kaiser Pineapple. Go down there, hit that like button, hit the subscribe if you're new to this place, and come check me out. I stream Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we just relax and have a good time. Oops, I mean, his 100th episode just dropped on his channel. Have a great night. Okay. All right. Well, have a good night, everybody. Thanks so much for coming out. Like I said, come check me out Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern. Otherwise, have a good night and take care. Bye-bye.